it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden, and before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a gardening friend. Okay, so it is brutally hot outside, so I'm going to stay inside and we're going to do a lot on seedling maintenance today. And this is a subject that I like to cover every year because I feel like it's a subject that's kind of missing when I, in the past, have gone to research, specifically YouTube videos on how to continually care for my seedlings. I think we have a lot of videos about starting seeds and a lot of videos showing us planting out seedlings, but that in-between point is an area that we're really missing out on. Okay, so today I'm showing how to pot up. We're going to talk about fertilizing. We're going to check for insects, fungus. We're going to pinch for bushier growth. We're going to prep for life outdoors. We're going to prep for a lot of different things and go over a lot of different parts of seedling maintenance. So one of the first big things I need to do is pot up. I have a lot of plants that are definitely outgrowing their starter seed cells. So let me show you what we have going. Okay, one of the big ones that I really need to get going is the strawberry blonde marigolds, and these are going to be for the fall. And the way they're growing, they're going to be for the fall real soon. I'm hoping to plant them out at the beginning of September, and they should be absolutely stunning by that point because they are gorgeous right now. All right, let me move some stuff around so we can see what's going on. We're going to focus on those. We also have some celosia that needs to be potted up, some chimney Rebecca. We've got Blazing Sunset GM. We've got Tidy Tips. We have so much that needs to be potted up. I just overwhelmed myself a little bit in realization of how much that needs to be done. So let me go over the basics of potting up, and then I'm just going to get to business on this. Okay, the first thing you're going to need is a good quality potting soil. I like to use Burger BM7. And I bet you I go through at least a whole bag today. Okay, and then you're going to need a larger container. So I am going to be working a lot with these like 3-4 inch containers, especially for a lot of the annuals that I currently have going. Some of the perennials that I'm going to plant up today, I'm probably going to plant up to larger containers, but we'll get there when we get there on that. But basically the whole idea is that we start with a good potting soil, just like that. And then I come over here to this little seedling, just like that. And I'm just going to pop it into a larger container. And then we are good to go. Now, I'm going to be making some strategic cuts on things like the marigolds because I don't want it blooming like crazy right now. I really just want it to focus on growing roots, and then also the pruning will help with a little bit more branching. But I literally need to do this to hundreds of seedlings, and I'm going to try to get a lot done today. I don't know if I'll get all of them done today, but we'll see. We'll see how long I last. I'm literally taking a look and being like, where's all this going to go? This is my issue every year with things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on fast forward, and I'll show you guys where we're at the end, and then we'll go to the next step in seedling maintenance. coleus are. It's looking really good. I got a lot of stuff potted up. I still have a bunch of snapdragons to pot up, but I just don't have it in me today. My back is hurting. Looking really good. Lots of stuff under here as well. For those of y'all who don't know, I have grow lights underneath my dining room table. It works really, really well for everything. So we're going to do some selective pruning. So let me pull some of these out and I'll start showing you what that's all about. Okay, just to stress a little bit more, potting up is super important. Runs out of nutrients and space in those little seed cells. And if you're wanting to grow them as far on as I am, I want my plants to be nice and big. It'll look like I just picked them up from the nursery prior to planting them outside. This is how you do it. And potting up is the process. Okay, so potting up, consistent lighting. I moved a lot of stuff around. You need to be using your grow lights on about 14 to 16 hours per day when you're growing these inside. This is not like the sunshine, so you have to have more light going for them. Keep the lights about 2 to 3 inches above the seedlings and adjust as they grow. This helps prevent legginess. You don't want the light too far away or they're going to get really long and leggy and the seedling will not be as healthy. Controlling temps for happy growth is super important as well. Most seedlings prefer 65 to 75 degrees to germinate and grow. My house is about 68 to 72. So it's perfect for growing inside. You can use heat mats for warm, loving varieties like zinnias and things like that. And avoid drafts or vents that cause stress. And I am in a dining room space. And the vent is all the way far away from the seedlings in this room. So that helps really well. So a couple of other things, fertilize gently. I use Alaskan fish emulsion. Today is not a fertilizing day for me. Once true leaves appear, feed with a diluted liquid fertilizer like the Alaskan fish emulsion. Fertilize every 7 to 10 days for steady growth. Steady, strong growth, and you have to fertilize during the seedling process if you want to have good plants. Avoid over-fertilizing. It can burn young roots. If you do it every couple of weeks like me, you'll be absolutely fine. Scout for insects and fungus, and so actually this next step when I'm going through and doing a lot of pruning, I'll be looking at that. But it's very important to look under the leaves and at the soil surface for aphids, fungus gnats, or powdery mildew. You can use neem oil or insecticidal soap as needed, and you can let the soil dry slightly between waterings to avoid fungus. That is definitely a process that I've run into. Now let's talk about pinching. I feel like this is a really tough one for a lot of people, and have these beautiful, I mean, come on, these are gorgeous. Let me bring y'all in closer so you can see. Okay. It is not time for these marigold to be popping off on me like this, even as beautiful as they are. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to cut out all the blooms and the buds, and this will encourage these to become bushier. Also, once a plant really starts focusing on its flowers, it diverts all of its attention to there. So it does not focus on its greens, doesn't focus on its roots. And we definitely want this to still be focusing on that for the time being. This will probably be the last major cutback I do on these marigolds because I most likely will be planting these beginning of September. And I'll probably want to have buds at that time. So I'm just following these down and cutting off the buds. If you get a little bit of the leaves, it's okay. But definitely keep an eye on them, checking them out, make sure you're staying on top of it. The plants right next to it are, these are my Sunburst Coreopsis perennials, and these are beautiful, strong plants. They're looking really, really nice. Oh, there's another little bud. Definitely checking for all those little buds. And then we'll stay on top of that. These are Inca, let's see, Inca 2 Primrose Marigolds, and they're looking beautiful. But it's definitely time. These are getting bigger, and I do want to go in here, and I'm going to go a couple of sets of leaves down. I'm going to cut it off, just like that, to encourage branching. I'm leaving several sets of leaves in here, but this will definitely encourage these to branch out and produce a lot more stems. And several of them are definitely on their way to wanting to make flowers, and I don't want them to do that yet. And I know this looks super harsh to do this, but trust me, it's for the best. All right, got those trimmed back, looking good. Okay, Snapdragon is another big one that I need to deal with. I do need to pot these up. I don't have it in me today because I'm tired, y'all. So I'm just going to be going across and cutting some of these taller ones just to encourage a little bit of branching. We don't want these to get anywhere close to wanting to flower or anything like that. So just going through, and as they get to a certain level, I'll just cut them back down again. Allow them to continue producing. All right, there's a good start on those. Got another container of them. And I'll have to check these every couple of days to see when more need to be trimmed up. Okay, so pinching for better branching, super important. Pinch above a leaf node once the seedling has 4 to 6 sets of true leaves. Great for zinnias, basils, cosmos, marigolds, coleus. Encourages bushier, more productive plants, especially for those fall blooming ones. Really getting them ready to branch out and be nice and full for fall planting is important. Another really important maintenance tip is increase airflow. Place a small fan nearby to reduce mold or fungus issues. And I do have a couple of oscillating fans in here just to keep the air moving. And I also have a ceiling fan as well. Rotate trays for even exposure. Air movement helps seedlings develop sturdier stems. Whew, words are hard today. Number 8, this one is super important. Observe your seedlings daily. I have a lot of people are like, how do I know when to water them? I was like, you're looking at them every day to check and see if they need watered. There's no just like set time, like you water them every 3 or 4 or 5 days. Really depends on your seedlings and your environment. That's why you need to be observing them every single day. A quick glance each day catches early warning signs. Check for pale or yellowing leaves, white fuzzy mold on soil, uneven growth, or light exposure. Rotate trays and adjust lights and water as needed. Okay, fungus gnats are one of the biggest issues that I deal with. I like to use these little traps, and so I'm going to put some of those in. They are tiny flying pests. Let soil surface dry before rewatering. Add a layer of sand to deter egg laying, or use yellow sticky traps, and I love to use these. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in a few places just so I took some old ones out so these will be refreshed. So the next step after all of this, after all this work and taking care of these, the next big step will be hardening these plants off to go outside. And the hardening off process is super important. It's just as important as when it's cold outside as when it's hot outside. Once temps are at a place that you feel comfortable with, specifically for this time of year, which is hot. So once we're out of our triple digits, I will pull my seedlings outside. I'll introduce them to outdoor conditions slowly, over a 7 to 10 day period, starting with 1 to 2 hours in the shade and then increasing light and time gradually over that 7 to 10 days. Super, super important. I actually feel taking seedlings out at this time of year is way harder than taking them out when it's cooler outside. So hardening off is super important. And last on my list for maintenance is how to know they're ready to plant outside. And I get that question so many times. Seedlings should be at least 4 to 6 weeks old, which all of these are, showing multiple sets of strong leaves. Make sure that they're accustomed to outdoor conditions via the hardening off process we just talked about. And you want to check soil temp and forecast before transplanting. So you don't want to transplant right before 5 days of triple degree temps. You don't want to transplant, if you're going to have 8 days of solid rain. I mean, there are different times when it's appropriate to transplant and when it's not. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about all this. My back is killing me. That was a lot of work, but I'm feeling really good. I'm going to give everything a nice watering. And then I'm good for a little bit on these. I need to think about getting the snapdragons potted up. They are going to take up, I'll have at least 4 to 6 flats of snapdragons. So I'll have to get those started up and potted up soon. That'll be in an upcoming video. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Just watching me continue with my seedling maintenance, seeing an update on a bunch of these seedlings. They're all looking really nice. Got some in the back going. I've got, let's see, Marvelette, Blue Calamentha, a couple of different varieties of foxglove that have sprouted. I still have not sprouted. Oh, I did have one Sahara Rebecca sprout. Maybe 2. Maybe give it just a touch longer. I have not had Scabiosa sprout. In fact, they all look rotted, so I'm just going to pull this off to the side. Yeah, they were planted on 7/8, and they should have sprouted by the 22nd. So, yeah, I'm not going to worry about those. Summer Sangria Scabiosa, nothing has sprouted as of yet in those. That was also supposed to be done the 22nd. This is my Petticoat Columbine, and it is covered in fungus. So we're going to open that up, let it dry out, and it's done. We're not going to continue with that one. This one over here is my Astellat Delphinium, and it is starting to sprout, which is exciting. Up here I have a couple other varieties of Status, and they take 7 to 14 days, and they still have 3 or 4 days before sprouting. So there is, there's some fails, there's some good stuff, and there's some not so great stuff, but that is to be expected. All right, you all, as always, make sure you like and comment on the video. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow the video so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop me an emoji below, letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and you say hi. And check me out in my Patreon community. The link is in the video description below. It's just a bunch of people who like gardening, like to talk about life. I really like it. It's kind of like more personal, intimate kind of gathering of people and gardeners, and it's really enjoyable. We talk and chat and ask a lot of questions, and you guys give a lot of great answers, and you answer each other's questions, and it's really lovely. There is a free tier you can join in under, and there are additional paid tiers. The higher up you are in the tiers, the more access you get, including exclusive videos as well as group chats and photo sharing. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.